Welcome to the preview show here for this weekend of August 7th here. Michael Wrona, pleased to welcome you back. A little bit of an improbable result. I think the talk leading up to these weekend's races, especially on Saturday, is going to be all about that Pick-6 carryover.
Oh, for sure. It's going to attract so much attention, especially with the traditional $2 format. And this should be a very big night at Los Alamitos. And I know that that's going to be the focus of the webcast. And there are certainly logical horses in most of the races in the sequence, Jose. So I was just looking for one race where maybe there's reason to kind of think outside the box slightly with some horses at longer odds.
Yeah,
so,
that's
to that end, I was just going to check out the 6th race with you.
Okay. All right. So let's take a look at race number 6. I'll bring up the past performances here to kind of show the viewing public a couple of runners that we're going to talk about. We'll start with the 4, MG Prieta Girl, who's a first-time starter for the Valentine's Zamudio barn. Interestingly enough, this one is bred by MG Farms Incorporated, who we know as the owners of Golden Boy, the runner that won the Edward Milling for this trainer. But Valentine's Zamudio owns this filly here, bred in North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina bred. You don't see that every day of the week.
No, you don't. That's definitely a breeding a state that you don't see much, every day of the week, like you mentioned. But you see the familiar connections to Valentine's Zamudio and Ruben Lozano, high percentage connections. They've won plenty of good races this year. I'm going to bring up here the workout. Take a look at that workout here.
Yeah, I wonder whether the exercise rider needed a neck massage after this morning workout, Jose. Let's try and count the number of looks behind. It was quite interesting to me.
Okay, Michael, here it is. Here's that workout for MG Prieta Girl on July 6th. She was on the inside of a 2-team set. And what did you see in this workout?
Well, I saw the rider take several looks across the right shoulder, sizing up where the workmate was. And pretty much just asking this horse for enough to maintain the lead. There were 3 looks that I counted, and they actually hit the line in unison. The time was decent without being world-beating, but what I like also, Jose, is the improvement in time from the previous gate work. This horse just seems to be trending in the right direction. And there's a couple of positives, perhaps. You know, there's a lot of horses in this race around the 9-2, 5-1, 6-1 mark on the morning line that are exiting pretty slow races. A lot of them coming out of a June 25 race. In fact, there are 4 horses in this race that competed in that event. Numbers 2 and 3 also exiting fairly slow races. And that's why I'm just prepared to take a stand against them. I think you do need to use the number 8 horse, Portate Bien, who is the morning line favorite. But outside of the 8 horse, I was just looking at these horses through the gate works. First of all, MG Prieta Girl, number 4, and then we'll move on and take a look at the Lindolfo Diaz horse, which I think is quite interesting as well. Has raced once before.
Yeah, this one is going to be for the barn, like you mentioned, of Lindolfo Diaz by the name of That's the One. And That's the One here. I made a couple of notes here on That's the One. What finished 4th first time out here. But also I made note in the past performances that this one is a full sibling to the 1-2 special. The 1-2 special ended up finishing 6th in the Champion of Champions. So a full sibling qualified to that Champion of Champions, finished 6th. Getting to the Champion of Champions is a big accomplishment, Michael. And this is a full sibling to that runner that we saw a few years back.
Now, if you see there are 2 workouts from earlier back in May that led to the horse's debut in late May. And you can see that the most recent work is definitely an improvement. And the horse has had a little bit of time off since that debut and maybe is just trending in the right direction. I like the fact you've got Zamudio and Lindolfo Diaz pulling the strings here with these 2 lightly raced horses. So, and I might have said earlier the morning line favorite was number 8. I meant number 9, Portate Bien.
Correct.
Is a horse that I would be using in the race, but I'd also be looking at the 4 and the 8.
Yeah, Porta de Bien draws the outside post there in gate number 9. But this is That's the One. working out on July 10th here. And this workout, she's gonna stumble, coming out of the gate. And I thought after that stumble, she was quick into stride, Michael, and she finished up pretty nicely in 12:50.
The second half of the workout was good, and so was the gallop out. The beginning was a bit of a mess, but I just liked the way the horse responded in the last 16th of a mile and heading into the clubhouse turn. And I think that there's absolutely license to improve on that debut performance back in May.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting race. That is the second leg of that Pick-6 Carryover in race number 6. We took a couple of looks there, a couple of runners. And like you mentioned, there's a few of these runners have not been very professional up to this point. So maybe there's these lightly race runners, the first time starter, and now that's the one who's making the second career start. Maybe that's the way to go, Michael, here, given that we just haven't seen that professionalism and consistency from some of the other runners.
Yeah, just trying to think outside the box a little bit and throw out a few suggestions at some decent odds. And let's hope that one of those good priced horses can do the job for us in the 6th and liven up the Pick-6 sequence for everyone.
Let's see if we can stay alive through the first leg, which begins at race number 5. But that's a look at race number 6 with Michael Wrona. Michael, looking forward to your calls this weekend. Have a good evening.
Thanks so much. Good luck, everyone.
It's Saturday Thrills at Los Alamitos with exciting nighttime racing action. This Saturday's card will feature a Pick-6 carryover of more than $78,000. It's our biggest nighttime carryover of the season. And with the new money wagered on Saturday night, the total pool in the Pick-6 could be around $350,000. Remember, we have a traditional $2 Pick-6. It's Saturday Thrills at Los Alamitos and a Pick-6 carryover of more than $78,000. For more, go to losalamitos.com.
Welcome back to the preview here show on this weekend for Los Alamitos. Pleased to welcome back Christopher Wade. Chris, we just saw a little bit of an ad there for the Pick-6. Improbable result there, as the Pick-6 was already guaranteed to carry over after we saw Golden Boy get beat there earlier in the card on Sunday night. Pick-6 in excess of $78,000. I think the pool can get into the $300,000, maybe $400,000 when everything's said and done. I think there's going to be a large pool.
I think it's going to be huge. Like I said the other evening, on Sunday evening, I was guessing somewhere like say 350 to 400, something along those lines. So it's going to be monstrous.
And given that it's had a lead up right all through the week there leading up to Saturday, so I think people are going to be well prepped for this Pick-6 weekends, 6-6 sequence. Excuse me. I think it could get a little bit tricky in the middle legs. That second, third, fourth leg in the middle, I think could get very tricky. But we did not talk before this, Chris. And now that I look at, you send me what horse you want to take a look at. Is it a good thing that we agree on the same horse in race number 10?
Let's hope so.
So race number 10, I'll bring up the past performance here, the night lines, to kind of show the betting public there on race number 10. We're going to take a look here at a horse that you like and I like as well. And that's going to be Pleased as Punch, who draws the inside post. Now, the inside post could be the thing that kind of hesitates a few players from kind of being all in on this runner. But what did you specifically like about this runner here in that latest race?
Well, this horse has a tendency to get fractious. It's been fractious in pretty much every one of his races on my last couple charts. But his last race, he got fractious. He hopped in and was bumped back and crossed. He lost like a length and a quarter on my numbers. Slow in his stride. He angled out, and he finished like an absolute freight train. He got beat over length, and he galloped out very, very strong. He's been what I call a W his last 3 starts. He's a little bit trouble prone, but hopefully that inside post can get him a clear path for the wire. If he gets away a little bit better, he's got a big look here to be one of the ones to beat on tonight's racing card.
Yes, 3-year-old filly here by Separate Interest out of Hearts Delight. And that was her first start as a 3-year-old. She had not raced since November of last year. I'm going to bring up the replay here at losalamitos.com, Chris. And she would break from gate 5 in a field of 6 here this night. And like you mentioned, she broke slow, lost her path, but once she angled out, she really finished with big strides in the final yards.
Yeah, she sure did. If she gets away clean, that was her first start in 245 nights, so she should be a little bit more prepared for tonight's effort. So we'll give her a big look here tonight.
Yeah, and Victor Zelas are there. We'll ride this one for the first time. I think it's a positive. You can see her there on the outside from gate 5, finishing with big strides that night. Even though she finished 4th there, that was her official finish. She only missed second by maybe a long neck, if that. That fourth place finish kind of appears worse than what it actually was, Chris, because I thought she was ultra game in that race. Now, I think it's a positive that she's drawn Inside A Political Honey, who hasn't been the best gate horse. She did break well last time out from he, but he hasn't been the most consistent out of the gate. And I think that might help Please That Punch.
Yeah, this horse, like you said, his last race, that horse did pretty well. But his prior efforts had been breaking very slow, leaned back, broke a little slow and skied, drifted out. I'd say to drift out a little bit, so it could leave a nice path down the lane for Please That Punch down the inside.
Yeah, let's hope that is the case there for both and our tickets there, as we'll be inching towards that Pick-6, keen on Please That Punch. So what do you have? What tracks are you going to be covering with your simulcast handicapping this weekend here at Los Alamitos?
Well, this weekend we'll be working with Sam Houston Race Park Saturday evening.
All right. So looking forward to all those selections in the Nightline Sprungers there for Christopher Wade. Chris, let's hope Please That Punch with both of our looks there towards the inside post is good enough to get a good clean trip.
Let's hope so. I think she's got a big look in the foul. It's going to be one or two people's Pick-6 single. It's going to be a monstrous pool, so don't go too cheap in the park.
Again, Pick-6 carryover in excess of 78,000. That will begin with race number 5 here on Saturday at Los Al. Chris, thanks for joining the program. We'll talk to you next week.
Can't wait.
Racing fans, the traditional $2 Pick-6 at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. On Sunday, August 1st, a one-night carryover of $14,000 led to an outstanding total pool of over $132,000. And the payouts are tremendous, highlighted by a season-high payout of over $94,000 on May 21st. And remember, on Sunday nights when there's not a carryover, Los Alamitos will add $10,000 to the Pick-6 pool. Talk about some good old-fashioned Pick-6 excitement at Los Alamitos. The traditional $2 Pick-6, a great bet, a great deal. It's happening at Los Alamitos.
Welcome back to the preview show here, Orlando G, Professor G, Orlando Gutierrez here. I'm going to pick your marketing brain, Orlando. What do you think is going to be the projected pool with the $78,000 Pick-6 carryover?
Okay, let's see. I kind of feel somewhere around 345,000 to 355,000, somewhere around that mark right there for the total pool, that including the new money plus the $78,000 carryover. And since you mentioned a little bit of the marketing angle there, we do have a promotion, a special deal there for racing fans nationwide. Thanks to the help of our friends at the Daily Racing Form. Anybody that buys any online PP from any track, whether you're playing Del Mar, whether you're playing Saratoga, Arlington, Sam Houston, whatever. If you buy that through DRF, you also get the Los Alamitos Saturday night PPs, DRF style, for free on their website. So no excuses, okay, to play the Pick-6, play all the races, especially, of course, that Pick-6 sequence here at Los Alamitos. You can have the PPs for free through our friends at the Daily Racing Form this Saturday night.
So I like that. A little bit of a fishing hook there. Kind of you buy one track, and before you know it, you're like, what, I have Los Al as well for free?
That's
and a
right.
Pick-6 carryover? And
That's right.
I like that, Professor G. I like your thinking. All right, so check out DRF. If you buy past performances there through DRF, you get any track, you will get the past performances from Los Alamitos for free to get involved in that Pick-6 carryover. Again, that Pick-6 in excess of $78,000. Let me bring up our in-house past performances, Orlando. This is going to be the Nightlines past performances, so we can take a look at that sequence there. 10-race program. Pick-6 begins in race number 5 there. That is a 1,000-yard allowance event. I've got the PPs here on the screen. And I made a few notes on the 2-horse Polar because I thought it was interesting that this 5-year-old gelding is lightly raced, only 7 starts, and you see multiple lengthy layouts. I like that now he's putting back-to-back starts together. Maybe that's a good thing, a good positive to look at, that he usually had a race or two and then kind of went to the bench. Now he's coming back with back-to-back races. I think he's the horse to catch there in race number 5.
And remember, Jose, Jerry Wallace, he also trained Rule He Will, who was an outstanding horse, distance horse, 870, a stakes winner here. And he didn't run a Rule He Will too often He kind of gave him time in between starts. And, so maybe he's taking a little bit of that approach with Polar. He's only 5-year-old, a baby compared to how long Rule He Will ran here at Los Alamitos. So, maybe he's playing for that long run of having this nice racehorse around for a long, long time. And I actually texted Jerry and I asked him, hey, what are you going to do? And he said, I'm sending. I am sending. That's the way to go. And I said, this is a pretty good field. I said, yeah, but they're going to have to catch me. I think we have a good idea now what Polar's going to try to do in race number 5. He's going, Jose.
And Snazzy Dresser, the 5 horse, is a slight 2-1 choice on Edinburgh's morning line. But you can see his past performances. His best efforts have been going long on the turf in the daytime Southern California circuit. So it does appear like the local speed of Polar is the horse to catch. Snazzy Dresser will take plenty of play. But I like Jerry Wallace that he's like, you know what? Come and catch me. I've got the speed. Let's see if he can catch me. So that is a very interesting first leg to begin the Pick-6. I think the best closer in the field might be the 3 Argosy Fleet. She hasn't gotten out to good starts. He has finished with interest, but the key for him is the start. Can he finally break out well? If he can, I think he's a very legitimate threat for the win. But I'm feeling Polar here with back-to-back starts now after those lengthy layoffs.
Remember, part of the conditions in this race is horses that have never won at 1,000 yards. You have the number 4 horse, Black Storm, who ran second at this distance and twice. So, yes. He's performed well at 1,000 yards, just has not won at this distance. Same barn as Argosy Fleet, Jesus Uranga, who's having a solid year. So, like you said, it's a really interesting race. The 5 Snazzy Dresser cutting back in distance. We know he's got that speed. But it sounds like he's going to be either dueling or just off Polar in race number 5. So a really, really interesting race in the opening leg of the Pick-6 sequence, Jose.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll have to decide on that day on Saturday leading up to post time. But I'm feeling Polar. I think that this might be a good trend to follow Polar now, putting back-to-back races together after those lengthy layoffs. All right, so race number 6, Orlando. It's going to be the quarter horse part of the program there. Maiden Claimer is going for a tag of $8,000. 300 yards is that distance. A field of 9. And we had a segment here with Michael Wrona. We took a look at the workouts of both the 4 MG Pirata Girl and the 8. That's the one. But the morning line favorite is going to be towards the outside. That's Porta that began at 7-2, who's cutting the claiming price in half there for Jose Flores.
In 2 races ago in that maiden race, Sizzling and Fast was the winner of that race. That horse qualified to the Governor's Cup Futurity. And also in the debut, Porta Bien finishing 4th to a Grade 1 winner, Golden Boy. So certainly has been facing some really tough horses here at Los Alamitos. Draws nicely on that outside post, number 9. But, the only thing about this horse is that he doesn't have that really big-time blazing speed, I think. That sometimes, can be a great combination when you draw outside because you can get to a good start. No one's going to bump you around. And if you can kind of get loose out there, you can be really, really dangerous. So we'll see, we'll see how much quickness Porta Bien shows in that race. And I like that right there. I see full to the 1-2 special, the quarter horse that ran in the Champion of Champions. You're talking, of course, to number 8, about number 8. That's the one, 2 Corona special baby out of the one who ran and did pretty good here at Los Alamitos, that mare. And Jose, we had an opportunity to talk to Lindolfo Diaz about that's the one. Do you mind if we go ahead and play that segment when we talked to Lindolfo Diaz earlier?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at that segment that Lindolfo Diaz in the barn talking about here. That's the one.
And we're here with trainer Lindolfo Diaz, and that's the one right behind you, Lindolfo. Tell us about this filly coming off of a pretty solid work. And tell me how you liked her first out and how she's been working coming into this race.
Well, in the beginning, her first few works, being honest, she wasn't showing much as what we thought we were because she has a really good pedigree. She has really good brothers. I think one of her brothers qualified as Champion of Champions, so we expected a lot of her. And she was working a little green, kind of not knowing the game. And she ran a little bit green. She didn't run that good. And we decided to freshen her up a little bit. And we worked her recently, and she worked really good. She worked a good 12.5. Kind of stumbled a little bit out of there, and I think she would have worked a good 12.4. And I think she can be tough in this race with a clean start. I think she could do good.
All right, Orlando, that was Lindolfo at the barn. And with That's the One, he talked about that pedigree there, a full to the 1-2 special, finished 6th in the Champion of Champions. So anytime you can make it into the very prestigious Champion of Champions, that's a big accomplishment. So it looks like he's got higher hopes for this one. And she did stumble at the start of that workout. She ended up clocking in 12:50. I like the way she got back into rhythm after stumbling in the workout. And we saw Lindolfo. He thought he could have gone maybe in a 12:40 type of drill with a good start.
Yeah, another horse that I kind of like in this one as well, Jose, would be horses like number 7, Too Chatty. Horse that we've seen some, okay works. Has shown a little bit of speed in that second outing when ran second to Favorite Icon. I think it's nicely placed there on the outside post. And it's Pick-6 night where we got to find somebody that's going to kind of be a little bit, off the favorite land, and a horses like Too Chatty, a horse like the number 1, RB Dog's Best Bet, just kind of make these races pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah, Too Chatty there, 5-1 in that race there last time out against Straight Maidens. But that effort from 2 starts ago where he bumped repeatedly, it's pretty good fit if he can, show any kind of improvement off of that race there to a 5-1 in Ed Berger's morning line. So there's a lot of improvement form here in this race, Orlando. And I think I don't feel like we're going to have a clear-cut favorite in this race. I think Porta de Bien might be the slight favorite because of the outside draw and some of the horses he's ran into. But I don't see a short price favorite in this race.
Yeah, I don't either, Jose. I think it's kind of a race where this could be a race where a surprise horse kind of sneaks in there. So, you got to find 1 or 2 horses that, to take a gamble on, basically, to give it a shot in the Pick-6. This could be one of those races.
I specifically, as my selections for the Islands, I added Too Chatty, and That's the One as horses that I kind of want to look at, given their pretty solid morning night prices of 5-1 and 8-1 respectively. Take a quick break. When we come back, we'll pick up right where we left off there with race number 7.
Night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos Racecourse with the biggest pools of the entire season. Check out these numbers in the Los Alamitos Early Pick 4. On July 18th, the pool was over $207,000. On July 25th, it was over $188,000. And the Late Pick 4 pools are tremendous with over $168,000 on July 31st and more than $152,000 on July 25th. Plus, don't forget about our $10,000 Pick-6 promo on eligible Sundays as the total pool continues to rise each time. Night racing's best bets, Saturday and Sunday nights. Play them all at Los Alamitos.
All right, we're back here taking a look at the Pick-6 sequence for Saturday, Orlando. We're up to race number 7. Race number 7 is going to be a 300-yard maiden event for the quarter horses. A field of 8 here set to go this distance. And a 7-2 shot, Western Slope from gate number 7 is the second choice, slight second choice over the 2. She's a Bad Mama Jamma. And I do think that second place finish by She's a Bad Mama Jamma is going to attract some money.
Definitely. 2 pretty consistent efforts from She's a Bad Mama Jamma from post 2, Jose Flores and Irving Lara. Good combination. They've done pretty good job together. The horse that She's a Bad Mama Jamma lost to was Hollywood Girl, right? MRL.
Yes.
Didn't that horse come back and win last week as well?
I want to say yes. That's Paul Jones trainee, correct?
Yeah. So pretty solid horse that She's a Bad Mama Jamma ran second to. The 4, Boogie's Best Dream, is from the same family as J Fire Up and also
Champion.
J Best Boogie. This Boogie fires, and the horse has done pretty good job all around in so far in her career. I really like the 7, Western Slope, coming off of that 3rd place finish in a trial to the Governor's Cup, Futurity, El Misterio, New and Better. That was a very competitive effort, and I like the way this horse finished. Was right there the entire way, Jose.
Yeah, let's take a look at that replay for Western Slope. That's going to be July 10th. All right, Orlando, here is the replay there for Western Slope, and she's going to be in gate 2 in this Governor's Cup Futurity trial. What did you see here that night?
Well, a little trouble early on, right from post number 2. And, this wasn't the strongest of trials, I will have to say, of that night. There were some other pretty tough trials. But look at that. Stumbling out of there, gets bumped. And jockey is asking for more. And the filly responds. The horse is responding right there. It's going to finish with some good interest. And it's going to run a solid third to El Misterio, as well as New and Better. New and Better was pretty impressive. First out earlier this year. And Misterio came back and ran in the trials to the John Deere Juvenile not too long ago. And it's a horse that will probably, look stronger as the races get a little bit longer. But all in all, Western Slope, solid effort considering that I had a little trouble leaving the gate right there.
And Western Slope has gotten into trouble, a little bit of trouble in all four starts, Orlando. Cruz Mendez has been aboard for all four starts, so that's a positive that he's back aboard here for this filly tonight. Along the inside is Waverunner. Waverunner has also shown a bit of talent, and interesting enough, though, I think Wave Talent has been able to show some runs despite not having the best of trips. But you had an opportunity to talk to both Mike Castleman and Adam Fadis. Is that correct?
That's right. So we do have a few words with them, and can show them right now, Jose.
A couple of nice horses that you have going in on Saturday. Some of them with a little bit better luck. Maybe they get to the winner's circle, including Western Slope. Tell me about her recent trips.
She hasn't managed to have a clean trip yet. She does everything right. We feel like she's trained good, and she always managed to get bumped here or there, and so we're ready to have a good clean trip for her one time. But she has a real good attitude, and she comes back good and tries again the next time, so we'll give it a whirl. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. She handles it all well, stands good in the mornings, school's good, and so I think we just have a little racing luck, we'll be okay.
And at that, another horse that you have high hopes for is Waverunner here, breaking from the inside post in race number 7 on Saturday. A little bit of tough luck, you think, in her first 3 races, just gotten bumped a little bit?
Yeah, she's always had a little bit of trouble at each and every race she's ran. I think running in the one hole this time might make a difference. She's always shown that she has ability, she's quick. Hopefully tonight she'll make it happen.
All right, Orlando, there it is. That was Mike Castleman and Adam Farias. Let's start with Mike Castleman. He mentioned that Western Slope has found a little bit of trouble in each and every start of her career thus far.
Just unlucky overall, but has also been facing some good horses unavailable, and a Dan Farias filly that has qualified to the John Deere Juvenile. Reinas y Coronas, who has performed well as also. One thing that's interesting about the one Waverunner, when talking to Adan Farias, when I had talked to him, he didn't know the morning line. And he said, well, I think my horse is going to be one of the favorites. The horse is 5-1 on the morning line,
yeah.
But Adan, is feeling confident going in thinking, I think one of my horse, Waverunner, has a really good shot.
Yeah, and interesting that, he kind of mentioned that he thought this was going to be one of the better 2-year-olds he had in his barn this year. She just hasn't been able to kind of put it all together. Drawing the inside post might be a good thing. You only have one horse to worry about on the outside of you kind of bumping you. So Waverunner 5-1. The price looks enticing right now as we get to preview that race. So Adam Farias and Mike Castleman both expect maybe better trips for both of their runners in that race.
One other note, the 6 Ever Up. We show the workouts here. The gate works on horses that have had them since their previous start, or if they have not raced, we'll show one of the workouts, the gate works. We decided to show, we're going to show on Saturday night the work from June 15th. It was a 12-4 drill, and out of all the horses that will be showing videos on Saturday, I thought Ever Ups was the most impressive. Just flash speed right away. Just looked tremendous early on and continue finishing pretty nicely. Second work between horses, not as sharp, not as impressive, but still, I still really like that first drill on June 15th. Has not raced, so has that going against her a little bit, the disadvantage of no big-time racing experience. But still, if she's able to just fly out of there like she did first out, she could be in the midst of the competition here, considering that all of these horses that we've talked about, have the tendency to get into trouble early.
Right, Orlando, you're kind of teasing it. You're kind of twisting my arm with the power of technology. I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna make people wait. I'm gonna bring up this workout. All right, here we go with this workout, Orlando. This is June 15th, and she's gonna be on the outside of a 2-team set here in the workout. Good start.
Super good start.
Good acceleration, and just puts away the workmate there very, very easily. So that was
and continues just flying around the turn. Really good gallop out. So if she breaks cleanly, even though this horse has not started before, I think he has a pretty good chance. 12-1, the morning line, Jose.
Ever up there at a big price, and you're right. That previous workout on June 15th, the one we just showed, looked much more visually impressive than the latest one in 1270 there. So Ever Up will be breaking from gate number 6 there in that field of 8 there in race number 7 on Saturday night. That's a 300-yard maiden event there and that's also beginning of the late pick 4, Orlando. So pick 4 and a key leg of the pick 6 as well. All right, let's keep going here with the past performances. By the way, a quick mention on Boogie's Best Stream. You talked about the family. Last time out, she was a betting favorite, Orlando, and she was a bit nervous, and she got beat by Just Another Cartel, who is from the family of Just the Cartel, that classy runner for the joiners. So she got beat by a pretty improving and talented runner that night.
Yeah, and that's a horse, Just Another Cartel, who didn't show much first out, but you really liked them. You thought that there was going to be a lot of improvement second out, and you were right on that call. Jose looked really impressive, just a developing horse, and we see what that extra out of experience does for these babies. And
no, Boogie's Best Ring finished about a length and a half clear of the third place finisher, so she was well clear of third. She was just second best to that improving runner, Just Another Cartel. All right, race number 8, the second leg of that late pick 4, Orlando. 300 yards, maidens here in this event, and we're left with a field of 8 runners. Is this going to be the shortest price favorite in the sequence? Do you think so? Favorite first down?
It sure looks like the way, Jose. Coming off of a second place finish against Argelia Clove. 8-5. Again, that combination, Irving Lara, Jose Flores. It could be a key jockey trainer combo in this pick 6 sequence.
1586 was her clocking there when missing by a short hit in that race here. You had another opportunity to talk to a few trainers in this race here. What runners were you able to catch up to there in the morning?
Well, we caught up with Jorge Farias, who trains Val Teresita for Jose Luis Valdez. He's handling that barn now. And also, once again, Adan Farias talked to us about number 3, Mason Jar, and gave us a little bit of a hint or a tidbit on what's been the biggest problem that he's had with number 3, Mason Jar.
Let's take a look at that interview there with both Jorge Farias and Adan Farias talking about the contenders in race number 8.
We're here with trainer Adan Farias and Mason Jar right now, enjoying her bucket of food there, but getting ready for a big race on Saturday. You always liked this filly, huh?
Yes, she's been one of my favorite horses that I thought she was going to be one of the great ones that I had, hoping to qualify for the big races. But for some reason or another, we haven't got that race yet from her. She's struggled a little bit eating. She's a little bit of a bad eater. Not today, obviously. She's eating pretty good. But I think once she has everything figured out, she's going to be a good horse.
Tell me a little bit about Valtteri.
She's very quick out of the gates. She always gets caught at the wire. But we're just hoping she breaks sharp and she finishes strong. I mean, she fits good right there.
All right, there it is, Orlando. That was Jorge Farias and Adan Farias. Thank you for getting those videos.
Mason Jar, Adan Farias was just talking about how it's been a challenge just to keep this horse's weight up. That she has not been a great eater. But that particular morning that we went and visited with Adan, she was loving her food. She was getting into her food bucket. So that was a good thing to see. He was pretty pleased with that. And, this race feels like one of those races where you start forgetting about horses and then boom, they deliver a big effort that we've been waiting on for, since the horse debuted.
That kind of, you're spot on about that, because that's how I thought about this race, because Mason Jar was the favorite first time out, right, against FGJ6. She lost the jockey and then was 2-1 second time out, a pretty game third. Since then, she's been overlooked 18-1, 20-1, 23-1. It feels like whenever Mason Jar does get that diploma, we're going to look back. It's like,
going to be a surprise, right?
Yeah, this horse was 15-1. What? Mason Jar? That's kind of how it feels. Moving down the list, always in front is going to be my top pick for the night lines here. Oscar Peinado and Jaime Gomez bumped at the start last time out. Second to the couple of the top three runners in that trial are solid. Watch out, Nevada Charles and Black Coffee. And when you kind of factor that she was 2 lengths behind that group, that's not a lot of margin to get beaten by that quality. So I like the 4-1 there on always in front.
And even the horses that she had faced even before that, Beduino Surprise, I believe, was in the top 3 in the kindergarten futurity, right? Was that the race?
Yes.
And Cactus Jack just is coming off of a second place finish in the freshman stakes last week. So, all of these horses, Jose, have been facing some pretty tough runners. They just haven't gotten the job done. And now they come here and get together, and we're going to see which one rises to the top.
This is going to be a tricky leg in the Pick-6. I'm in agreement, Orlando. I think it's tricky. Favorite first down should be the betting favorite based on her recent efforts. And, she does draw the outside post here. And I believe that's the first time she gets the outside post. So maybe that's all she needs to defeat this field. But I'm with you. I think this race could go a number of different ways. I'll give a slight lean towards a 4, always in front. All right, Orlando, let's take another quick break. We'll come back. There's 2 races left. You know what time it is.
Daily double time, late double.
That is correct. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back here. There's 2 races left. Time for the late double here on Saturday night at Los Alamitos. The last 2 legs of the Pick-6 there with a carryover in excess of 78,000. Orlando, very competitive allowance event here in race number 9. It does appear like there's 3 runners that are going to dominate the wagering. Amadeus along the inside, Secret Eagle on gate 7, and Famous Fancy Pants in gate number 8. The question would be, who is going to be favored in this spot at post time?
I went with the 7, Jose, Secret Eagle. Just coming off of that nice victory. Hitters Up was one of the runners that Secret Eagle defeated. And also coming off of a second place finish in a trial to the Edberg Million Futurity against Corona Yo. I just think that overall, the total package, and especially about something that trainer Lindolfo Diaz said about his horse, number 8, Famous Fancy Pants, kind of led me to go with the 7, Secret Eagle. We did talk to Lindolfo Diaz, and we'll be playing that interview during this as we talk about this race. And we also caught up with Jorge Farias talking about after school.
All right, let's take a look at those videos, and then we'll come back and wrap up the thoughts here for race number 9. Here's Lindolfo Diaz and Jorge Farias talking about their contenders in race number 9.
Lindolfo, we're not here with Famous Fancy Pants. Horse that will be breaking from the outside post here on Saturday. A pretty tough allowance race. How do you think he'll do?
It is a very tough allowance race. I think the inside horse of him is pretty tough. I wish we could go a little bit farther, but I think he could, if he breaks good. I think he usually likes to finish really well. So I think it all comes up to the break. See if he leaves with them, because he can really finish at the end. So I'm hoping for a good start, and hopefully we can get up there in the winner's circle.
And he showed you a lot when he ran in the Edberg Million trials, went against Dasha Good Reason, who comes back and qualifies to the John Deere Juvenile here at Los Alamitos. How did you see that race?
Yeah, that race, he actually broke really good that day, and he started lugging out a little bit, kind of a little bit green, and he runs second to dash that. That's a really good horse. The horse you just said right now, and honestly, I've been really high on him all year. And I think he'll do better as they go 400 yards. The farther it's going to be, the way better for him. So I'm expecting him really good for hopefully the last for the 2 million trials. I think he'll do really good for going 400 yards. He's a big striding, long striding colt. So I'm hoping great things from him later on in the year.
You have a couple of other horses running on Saturday after school. A horse that you guys claimed not too long ago. How do you see his chances in a pretty tough allowance race?
It's a pretty tough allowance race. We were looking for a claiming tag, but there wasn't any now, so we just stick him in there and see what he does there. Hopefully, I mean, he does good for us.
What would it take for after school to win that race?
You know, pull it off. I mean, just to get the kick and get him out.
Orlando, there it is, Lindolfo Diaz. Interesting that he mentions that he kind of wishes the race was farther.
That's it.
Is that a key angle here where you're saying, you know what? I'm okay trying to beat this runner tonight.
That's exactly it, Jose. He feels, man, if I just had 30 extra yards, maybe, or 50 extra yards, this race would definitely be mine. He was Amadeus, the way that Amadeus won, broke his maiden last out, going 15.67, winning by a neck and getting there. And I think this horse is going to keep improving, Jose. Amadeus MV, and again, number 7, Secret Eagle. This horse seems well suited for this distance.
Yeah, so kind of a little bit of a look there, talking to Lindolfo Diaz. He wishes he had more distance for famous Fancy Pants. Talked about Jorge Farias. They claimed after school for the first time 2 starts ago, Orlando, with that after that terrific maiden score. The clocking of 15.76, he would probably need to take another step forward, given that he just finished behind famous Fancy Pants last time out.
Yeah, and he said that, they were hoping to get another claiming race for after school, but the horse was ready to run, so they decided to go in this race. And now he's just hoping that the horse breaks out of the gate, is flying early, and maybe he catches everybody else kind of sleeping there in race number 9.
All right, race number 9. We have a little bit of time. Orlando, I want to show the replay here of Amadeus. Amadeus is going to be my top pick there for the 9 Lines program. So let's take a look at this replay here for that latest win for Amadeus back on July 18th. Here's the replay for Amadeus back on July 18th. An interesting note before that is that since that June 18th and July 28th race, there was a sharp workout on June 29th in a very sharp 12 flat. And he lived up to that workout here in this event. And not only was the time solid, Orlando, but the time he did it with trouble, I thought was impressive, because he's going to get bumped at the start. He has to make a round. And then once he gets into strides, he actually went pretty impressively, I thought, and it was only a neck, but I thought he had plenty more there in the tank.
And this horse is just tremendously bred, Jose. The dam, Queen of Appeals, is the mother of Champion of Champions winner, Good Reason SA. And the sire, Power Jam, up-and-coming thoroughbred sire, who's doing extremely well with his quarter horse babies. We've seen a lot of his babies win here at Los Alamitos. His owner, Ken O'Brien, I had an opportunity to talk to him a few weeks back, and he said, this horse is actually showing that his babies can run 300 yards. And Amadeus MV, an example here, who the distance wasn't too short for him. He got there impressively, had enough quickness to recover from that bump, and got there to the wire.
Yeah, he's definitely showed improvement, and he seems like maturing and getting much better here. So you saw that bullet workout on June 29th. That was after that June 18 effort, and then fired that big effort there in that win. Final 8th was only 9.81, but the impressive part about it was that he was able to overcome that trouble to get for the win. So I would have liked him to be drawn more towards the outside, Orlando, but I think the talent is there.
Yeah, I agree. Any of the outsiders, the long shots that you think can kind of spoil the party for the top 3 horses?
I think if there's one runner that can take advantage if a few runners make a mistake, is the 3 Budget Buster, and that is because the gate speed. Look at her ones coming out of the gate. She has proven to get out of the gate with good gate speed. She might not have the stamina the stamina to really go toe to toe with these runners. But if she can get the jump on them, she might be able to kind of kick away there and have a good enough lead to hold them off. So outside of the obvious three, Budget Buster with that consistent gate speed might be a little bit of a price there.
I agree with that. The 4 Aquatic, Jose, coming off of a solid third against Favorite Honey, and She Goes Up. Both of those horses qualified to the Governor's Cup Futurity.
Yes.
She Goes Up won the race as a long shot, and Favorite Honey was in the top 3. So Aquatic faced some pretty tough rivals in that out. And prior to that, one going away 300 yards. The time wasn't super fast, 1584, but still solid. So you can't ignore some of these horses. Maybe include one of those in your Pick-6 ticket.
Yeah, quite a day for Cesar de Alba. Cesar de Alba just got a big win here last weekend. Cesar is off and running as his training career is taking over here, Orlando.
Definitely favorite Colossus, giving Cesar de Alba his second Derby win here at Los Alamitos. Favorite Colossus won the El Primero and then comes back with another super nice finish to win the Governor's Cup Derby. And they've actually paid him to the Los Alamitos Super Derby. The connections, Jeff and Michelle Cravens, ponying up $30,000 to make him eligible to the Los Alamitos Super Derby.
That speaks confidence. I like that move. They're confident that the runner is maturing, and he proved them right there in that very nice win this past weekend. We reached the nightcap, Orlando. Race 10 allowance, 300 yards here for the quarter horses, 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races. We got a good field of runners here, 7 runners set to go post. The 7 Royal Flash favorite draws the outside, has not raced since last August. But look at the connections. Valentin Zamudio, Ruben Lozano, they've been teaming up with plenty of wins this season.
Yeah.
But you can see a slight 2-1 morning line choice racy there for the barn of Jorge Farias, and Ricardo Ramirez has them out.
Yeah, and we talked to Jorge Farias, as well as Mike Castleman, who's got number 5, Go To Girl, a 5-1 shot here in this race. So why don't we go to that, Jose, and listen to what they have to say.
Let's go to the video here, talking with trainers about their runners here in race number 10.
I really like her a lot. She's a gamer. She loves ground. She's very sharp out of the gates. I really like my chances there. It's a tough field, but she could probably pull it through if everything goes all right.
And Mike, right behind you is Go To Girl, returning to action after a couple of months off, but prior to the break, she was really doing extremely well.
Yeah, we felt like she was improving each trip. She'd been a little nervous early in her career, and we got her running fairly good, and the riders were fitting her better. She wasn't making any mistakes, and so I think she ran a third, maybe a second, and run a nice time, and then come back and won a race. And just thought that was a good time to give her a little break. So we just sent her to the ranch for a little bit and laid her off, and come back and worked her, and she's doing fine. So she should be ready to go again.
Back with Oscar Peinado.
Yes. Yeah, it's been a while since he rode her. And I guess just the way everything worked out, Ruben had another horse, and so he rode it over her, and so we were lucky to get Oscar. So he'll do good.
There it is, Orlando. Racing is going to be obviously one of the top contenders here. Had not raced since April 30th, came back on July 11th. Very game second behind the Sharp Heatley that night.
And also High Hopes was in that race.
True.
And
Yeah.
he performed well on California Breeders' Champions weekend. 2 races ago, Racy ran second to Comanich, who's qualified to some derbies here at Los Alamitos. And Jorge Farias sounded pretty confident. He was excited about the prospects of Racy coming into this one.
Yeah, it seems like he's getting the horses now for owner Oscar Valdez there. Racy will be one of the favorites in race 10. Go To Girl, Mike Castleman, C. Burns. We talked about the nicely bred runner along the inside in race number 9. How about this one? By Favorite Cartel out of Memory Rose. That has grade 1 type potential written all over it, Orlando.
and has really started to click. Last out back on April 1st, one going away a half length. And like Michael Castleman said in that interview, they felt that this horse had been working pretty hard, had given them some really good races, and she wasn't in any big races coming up. So it was a perfect time to give her some time off. They did just that. Ruben Lozano, is going to be riding for Valentin Zamudio, number 7, Royal Flash favorite. That opens up the mound for Go-To Girl. And Oscar Peinado, who's ran a lot of winners for Mike Castleman, has the opportunity to get back on this filly, Go-To Girl. And like you mentioned, what a pedigree. Remember Me, Rose, who's produced just outstanding runners over the years. Powerful favorite, Run for Your Life, and so many outstanding Grade 1 winners.
Yeah, so this is going to be a very nice allowance to end the card. Talking to Christopher Wade earlier in the program, Orlando.
Yeah.
We had not talked beforehand, and we both kind of were keen on Please As Punch running a big effort. Kind of wrote right there that she finished nicely there. The main concern is that she did break slow. You can go, for the viewers there, go back and watch. We showed that replay there for Please As Punch. But she did gallop out with plenty of energy. Even though she finished 4th, she only missed 2nd, maybe by a long neck, if that. So that 4th place finish kind of looks worse than what it actually was there. The main concern is the inside post for me, but I think there's plenty of talent for the inside runner, Please As Punch.
And this is a runner, Jose, that consistently shows the ability to, finish better than how she started. So, again, the big key is just getting out of the gate.
Yeah, getting out of the gate. And Apolitical Honey, the 2-horse, drawn immediately outside of Please As Punch. He did break better last time out. But before that, off slow, lunged, lugged in early, born at the start. So it's not like the 2 is an absolute consistent good gate horse. So we'll see what the 2 does. And maybe Please As Punch can get out to a better start here tonight.
There is one older horse in this race, Jose, Summer Cartel for trainer Dan Farias. This horse competed in the trials to the vessel's maturity. Didn't show a lot, running 6 to Spirit Foos, who was a big surprising winner there. But that field, Eagles Fly Higher, was in the field. Cattail Cove as well. This horse ran into some trouble. Summer Cartel did, bumped around a little bit. We'll see if that extra, advantage of being just a little bit more mature there can help them in the nightcap.
Yeah, that's going to be a 3rd start off the layoff as well for Summer Cartel. So good to note. The 4-year-old in the field, 6-1 there for those connections there in gate number 6. Let's wrap up here with the outside runner, Royal Flash favorite. What do you make of this runner not being out since August? Since August of last year. Shows one workout, but that was a Pleasanton there. Obviously, the connections are going to take plenty of respect, and they draw the outside post.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing that the workout came at Pleasanton. He was in the barn of trainer Chris O'Dell. Chris, as we know, is now at Ruidoso down. So I have a feeling that maybe the owners, the Olmos, maybe from the Northern California area, and they gave the horse work there before sending him out here to Valentin Zamudio's barn. And, we've seen a lot of horses, especially recently, that have been coming off of layoffs and, do extremely well first out. We'll see if the outside post, having Ruben Lozano, who's having an excellent meet, all that combined kind of helps number 7, Royal Flash favorite, kind of deliver a nice victory here. He's done it before, has a win, and was DQ'd from a 1st to a 3rd, but has crossed the wire, a couple of times ahead of the field.
Yeah, Royal Flash favorite. Will be wearing the flipping halter, has wore the flipping halter in the last 4 starts, and actually wore when she first added the flipping halter, was in the maiden win, actually got DQ'd and placed 3rd, and then came back and got the diploma 2nd time out. So the flipping halter has been there. We'll see how she does from the outside post. She lacks the recency edge that some of the other runners have, but these connections know how to bring horses off the layoff and get them ready into the winner's circle. Orlando, that's a quick look into the Tame Race program on Saturday night. It looks like a challenging sequence. I don't think there's going to be a strong, overwhelming favorite in majority of those races there. I think it's going to be a very challenging sequence.
Especially in those maiden races for the 2-year-olds. I think we could see a surprise there. just because we're starting to see now horses that were facing, futurity, trial, competition. Now they get together after, taking their lumps a little bit, and we'll see who rises to the top.
All right, Orlando, that's a quick look. Thank you for getting all those videos for the connections inside. I think a key valuable snippet that we had was that Lindolfo Diaz trainee, who's going to be one of the favorites. He kind of wanted to get more distance. So that might be one of the key factors where horse players might still be on because of the outside post, or they might back off because, the trainer really wanted more distance there.
Yeah, you got to give him credit for, just telling it like it is,
Yes.
telling him what he's really thinking.
Yeah. Orlando, quick reminder, what's our approximate post time here for Saturday?
It will be 7:30 p.m., Jose, on Saturday night. And remember, you get free PPs on DRF.com when you purchase PPs from another track. So if you're playing Del Mar, Saratoga, Arlington, Sam Houston, whatever, don't forget to then click on that button that gives you the free Los Alamitos PPs and start playing, start handicapping, getting ready for the night action here at Los Al.
We'll see how close you are to your estimate there. What did you say, 345 to 355?
Yeah, 345 to 355, somewhere around there,
We'll see if you're a good odds maker here with this selection there of the pool. Nonetheless, get involved. Should be a strong pool. Orlando, thanks for all the insight. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Jose.
Now at Los Alamitos, it's weekends full of thrilling action.
Racing!
With live quarter horse and thoroughbred racing every Saturday and Sunday nights. More races on our weekend night, plus strong fields in our early and late pick fours. And we're still adding $10,000 into our Pick-6 pool when there's not a carryover going into the Sunday card. It's a great deal in our traditional Pick-6. Don't miss a second of the thrilling action at Los Alamitos.
Racing!
Every Saturday and Sunday nights.